Yeah. It's a tick over 7:30, and I apologise if you're just all sitting there. We would have millions of people sitting there going, where is he? Where is he? Where's the 7:30 with Cienan Muir going on? Don't shake your head, Braz. It would have been sitting there, everyone. But anyway, we're down to about 500,000 listeners, which is the most I've ever had on the planet. But our next guest... Our next guest is the deadly Cienan Muir. Welcome to Really Good Radio this morning, Braz.
Thank you. Thanks for getting me out of bed at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Is that a sign of the times? Is that what's happening? 7:43. You are no chance getting out of bed.
Look, there was a time when I would be a morning person. I am not that anymore.
Oh well, it's nice to well, thanks for taking some time out of your 14th dream to come and join Really Good Radio. I noticed you got a beanie on. Let's go with your beanie.
Yeah.
Tell us. No, hang on. Let's try and get as best backstory as possible. One, I'm going to admit that I am amateur on comics, anything Comic-Con. Although I did meet. What's the dude with the massive? He plays a devil or something like that, and he's got a massive long head, and he's got horns, and he's in some fiction. Hellboy. Who's the actor?
Ron Perlman.
Ron Perlman came past my cafe on Flinders Street, and I'm like, I know that head. That is a very unique looking head. And then people told me, but he was here for Comic-Con.
Yes,
That was the first time I heard from Comic-Con. Tell us what Comic-Con is. Tell us what Indigenerd is. Let's hear about it.
My bread and butter. Okay, so Comic-Con is a platform for pop culture. There's several different sections. So you got your celebs and TV personalities, your voiceover stars, your local businesses, your cosplay arena, video games. It's a place where people can come together and share their passion for pop culture.
I don't even. What's a cosplayer?
So cosplay.
And don't go laughing at me like he doesn't even know what cosplayer is. I've seen you and Ruby and Kimmy all talking about cosplayers. What's a cosplayer?
So cosplay is a cross between costume and role play. It originated in Japan, or some say as far back as 1880. But I mean, the first convention was 1927, thereabouts.
Get out.
And that's where it blew up. So, yeah, cosplay has always been around the traps with pop culture. It's just a way of expressing your creativity and showing us how your skills with sewing maybe or storytelling.
So I about 8 years ago decided to join Frocktober, and I wore some dresses. Is that what cosplaying is?
Yeah, to a point. I mean, there's different levels.
Yeah.
Some of the more serious cosplayers, if you have a quick search on Google, some cosplayers do produce some amazing works of armor made out of foam. Some cosplayers have learned how to sew via YouTube. Some cosplayers like to attach a story to the character if it's something that they produced. I guess it's as creative or as weird as you want to make it.
I saw a costume of yours featured at the museum. Is that right? Melbourne Museum?
Yes.
What was that doing up there?
Yeah, so Oh, I forget what year it was. It probably would have been
Maybe
2 years
yeah, two
ago,
in 2 or
thereabouts.
3 year bracket ago, I saw your head with some costume next to it, and you're all blue, something like that.
Yes, yeah.
I'm like, that's my man.
Um,
What's he doing?
I know that guy.
I've seen that
What
face, not blue.
So yeah, about 2 years ago, the curator of First Peoples exhibition came to us and said they want to um, do an exhibition on the world of pop culture, um, and expressing yourself
Mm.
from the community. And I mean, myself and my partner, whose dress was also featured, which she handmade, um, because creating a simple cosplay wasn't an option for her. So she produced this elaborate Elizabethan type dress, which, I mean, she just constantly shows my costumes up every year. So
Did you meet your
yeah,
lovely
well,
partner? Did you meet your partner through the cosplayer world?
no. So we met at university.
Uh huh.
Uh, yeah, probably uh, close to 10 years now.
Was that just the most euphoric moment when you're like, um,
Oh,
you like
yeah.
games as much as you what?
Well, actually, she was. We were in the computer lab. I was working on my essay. I looked over, and there was this young woman with her laptop open watching Dragon Ball Z.
Score,
Yeah,
shimmy.
I know, right? So yeah, we just connected from there. Really.
Did you connect online, or did you actually do like what old school people do and go, "Excuse me,"
Uh,
or did you send him a little, "Hey, I'm staring at you from 15 meters away"?
well, I mean, I walked over and said, "Oh, I see you like Dragon Ball Z. Do you know Goku is blah 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 blah?" And
What did you say? Do you know who
no,
what?
I didn't. I didn't really.
I don't even know who you're talking about. I feel so newbie. I feel so newbie. I love it though. I was really excited to talk to you. Obviously, I've known you for a long time, but I don't know this part of your world, and I realize how little I know. And I don't. I look at the things that you post and go, "That looks really fun." Ugh, and then I'm off to doing something else. But you are like so entrenched in it, and you are so passionate about this industry. You created another sub group off the very wild world that is cosplay, Comic Con, games, everything. Tell us a little bit about the logo that's on your beanie, but tell us a little bit about IndigiNerd and where that birthed from and what's come from it.
Yeah, definitely. So it probably started, I'd say, 5 years ago. Um, I attended Indigenous Comic Con over in America. Um, Connected up with the organizer over there. Uh, I wanted. I've been thinking for a while that we need a similar platform
Mm,
here in Australia.
mm.
I've been going around to conventions for probably 10 years, and there hasn't really been a platform for our mob or our creativity
Mm.
from community. So yeah, once I heard this new platform, Indigenous Comic Con, I thought I need to be a part of this however I can. And then fast forward a few years later, and I ended up running the show.
Did you, what here in Melbourne?
Yes. So actually, this is a pretty cool thing. So the first Indigenous Comic Con um, ever was ran in Melbourne last year.
Did you run that yourself?
Impressive.
Right. The first one ever. Is that the one that I'm aware of? And you got food trucks and so how nerve-wracking was that, putting your dreams, something new in a space that supported you and giving you so much comfort, all of a sudden turning it into, well, it's your hobby in life, into something that you want to present to other people for the first time in the middle of Melbourne? What was that like? And tell us how did it go?
I mean, you're showing your passion on your sleeves, really, and you don't quite know how community's going to take it. But I mean, in pop culture and science fiction has helped me so much, not just on my personal journey, but connecting up with my community. So it's helped me connect with elders, and then from there I've learned about some of their stories as young people and growing up and how that was for them. But it's helped me so much, and I just figured, well, this obviously isn't just me who is passionate about this space. I need to make some sort of safe platform for my people who are passionate about, Doctor Who or Dragon Ball Z or Street Fighter, to come together and, just yarn about their passion. That's what we need right now. We just need that safe space for our people to yarn safely.
I think that's brilliant, and I think the more interviews we do with Indigenous fellas on this show, hopefully we can really drum home the fact that there is something unsafe about the spaces that are currently there that say they're inclusive. No, they don't ever say they are inclusive, but you just assume that it's a space that everyone can go into. But the challenge that black fellas have is that it's not safe. So this is why, and before the non-Indigenous world go, why do you need your own one? Like, that's rude. It's exclusive. You're being exclusive. You're not being inclusive. This explains, it's great to hear that these subcultures that are very real cultures within Indigenous culture or any other kind of minority culture going around in the world, need and yearn, but you flourish in these spaces that you need to you have to initiate it, and it's a big it's a big thing to do it, and I applaud you for, because it can be unsupported. Did you notice that? What were some of the challenges you faced when going,
so
okay,
many,
I'm jumping?
So many challenges. It's look, you're talking about bringing something to not just your community, but the wider community of Melbourne that's never been attempted before. So, I sent out so many emails promoting Indigenous Comic-Con, support, throwing their support behind it. A lot of those emails were just met with, look, we don't see the value in this.
Right.
It's too close to Christmas, so, I mean, we're running a business, so we don't really, we don't see the value in supporting this platform. Or in some cases, I was emailed back, oh yeah, we'll support you. And then the very next day, that support was gone, pulled away.
I mean, you know a little bit of the last few years, putting on events is something that I've tried to do. Every time I start it, I think, what am I doing? Because the start, it's such a hype behind the scenes before you're about to drop your idea, and you just believe in it so much that, and then it hits reality real quick. And
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's exclusive to Indigenous ideas, but we're fighting for a slither, or we're attracting a very small slither of the total population. Already, our audience initially is a small slither and hanging on a line. And you got to ask for people to believe in an idea that they don't probably believe in. But you need to get one off the ground. So how did the first one go? And when things open up, is there life for a second? Are you going to return with a vengeance when you're allowed to? And
With a vengeance.
oh, you like that tie-in? What's the landscape look like? And
Yeah.
where are you headed with it?
Yeah, look, I've said this before. I'm not going to completely shut the door to organising another one, but I mean, as long as I am comfortable that I have the proper support behind me, and that's mostly financial. I mean, I did have plenty of volunteers who chucked their hand up to help out. I had my core team who were amazing. But yeah, the main thing was getting businesses to throw their support behind this new idea that, yeah, potentially wouldn't have worked out. There may not have been 10,000 people walk through the doors, but the point of creating this safe space for my people who have always been told not to act different and not stray away from the status quo, this was a platform to show, well, no, there's so much diversity within our community, and out of this diversity, you can see how creative and deadly my people are.
You've highlighted here, I think, it's not exclusive, as in although you're it's on the back of being excluded, but it's so beautiful. I think the beautiful thing about Indigenous people, probably all over the world, but especially something more closer to home, First Nations people here, it's when we do things separate, it's not go away, you're not invited. It's, well, we just want to do it on our terms and you're all invited. Like it's never exclusive unless there's some healing to be done, or hey, we just need to create a safe space for us this time. But I think that's something that maybe the commentary around these, when you are stating this is an Indigenous Comic-Con, or this is for First Nations people, it's not for First Nations people and no one else can come along, which a lot of people get wrong, or maybe don't know how to walk in that space.
Yeah, I think it's a mixture of both, really. Some people, I mean, to be honest, this new society where there's so many different things to consider, and some people, rightly so, say to themselves, "Oh, this platform isn't for me. I shouldn't go." But and that was actually one of the hurdles that the first Indigenous Comic-Con over in Albuquerque had. A lot of the wider community thought that it was only exclusive for Indigenous people. But I made sure that to say, no, this is a platform spotlighting and highlighting our people's creativity, but it's open to everyone as long as you come to this event with respect and non-judgmental, and the understanding that it's a safe space. then of course you're welcome.
I love it. It's incredible, man. It's incredible. I'm learning myself, but it just really emphasizes how important it is to not dismiss things, or even dismiss emotionally. But thinking, oh, it's got nothing to do with me, whatever. It kind of does.
Yeah,
Like everything is connected, and
exactly. And especially since this new world we live in is, practically ran by Marvel comic books
yeah,
and
right,
Disney
yeah,
and companies like these.
mm.
Yeah, and we just gotta. I mean, there's people out there who love these worlds, um, and we just need to create the space for uh, our people to come together and show their love for that. Because at the end of the day, really, Indigenous Comic Con, yes, it's about pop culture and science fiction and Indigenous futurisms and gamers, but if you have a passion for, I don't know, chemistry,
Mm.
astronomy, this platform is a safe space for you to, you know,
Mm.
really nerd out on what you
Yeah,
love.
yeah, yeah. Um, you had a pretty big stint at KYC. Tell us a little bit about KYC, because I really want to promote them and the brilliant work they do.
Yeah,
What's KYC,
definitely.
and you just finished up there a great innings. It was probably a sad departure for everyone involved to see such a bright spark and passionate community member leave. But tell us about your time there.
Yeah. So I started with KYC
Which is
Koori Youth Council,
yeah,
where it's a youth advocacy body for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander representation in Victoria. We're currently the only body of its type in the country.
Mm.
Um, yeah, which is a pretty big deal. So,
And what kind of things would the KYC do throughout the year, and what support would offer? And
yeah,
you're a little bit in the event space. I noticed you guys would pop up and
yeah, it's really, we did everything. Now
yeah,
I think
yeah.
back on it.
It's like a hub, is it?
Um,
Like a hub for the youth, again, to feel
yeah,
safe in, to be
yeah,
creative.
perfect
Yeah,
example.
yeah,
It's a hub for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander young people to come together, voice their opinion, tell us what uh, they want to see in the
mm,
future.
mm,
My role as the senior project officer was to deliver the Koori Youth Summit, which is our annual gathering of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander young people
mm.
to come together and basically do what usually gets done in a typical organization in 2 days. So that's coming up with an idea, showing each step to take to make this idea work. But best of all, it's coming from the voices of young people.
Mm.
Um, yeah, those were the times I was pulling my hair out organizing those. But I mean, once the day arrives, you just sit back and relax.
Oh, that's
Those were
good.
the best times.
Yeah, there is something super satisfying about pulling people together for a good reason, and you had some small or big part of it. The whatever hair you've got left, it's all worth it. And
Exactly. Exactly.
although you're tired and exhausted, to enjoy it like everyone else is enjoying it, I think you're spot on in saying you do sit back and maybe right at the back and go, this is so cool.
And then there's probably a 24-hour period rest, and then you think to yourself, yeah, I could do this again, like some madman.
Yeah. Cienan, I really appreciate your time today. We've got to move on with the show. I appreciate you spending your morning, which
Thank you.
you could have been in bed. Bed's fun. Bed's nice.
Oh, I've got so much work to do, so thank you for getting me up.
Brilliant, brother. And if you can't see it in the background, that's what you dressed up as. Can you see it in the background there? That's not your daily makeup routine, is it? That's
on those days where I'm feeling particularly good about myself, that is my daily routine.
the blue makeup.
Yeah.
You're a brilliant man. Thank you so much, Cienan, and we look forward to seeing how IndigiCon goes in the future. And you're doing a good thing, brother.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You're more than welcome.